Hi, guys. Welcome. So, today is a very special Rise of Crystal Phoenix Life Talks edition. Um, on LinkedIn, I have been, kind of talking about a big project that I'm about to launch. And really, really excited to talk about this. Um, as you guys know, both on YouTube and on LinkedIn, that I do write. I have written in multiple anthologies and written a solo book. And I am very, very excited to announce that I am going to be sponsoring and publishing a anthology series of my own. And today is to announce that I am inviting any of you that would like to share your story of domestic abuse, or, and I'll get into the trilogy in 1 second, and take your voice back. So, forgive me, I am a little nervous as I'm very excited about this. I am going to be publishing a 3 book anthology series that is going to be different parts of domestic abuse. Book one, and a very, very close, dear, dear friend of mine um, was very kind to make the um, cover art for me. My friend Whitney is an amazing digital artist. Now, book one that I am going to be doing in the series is going to be about people who witnessed domestic abuse or abuse in their childhood, and as they grew up, made the decision to break the chain of abuse and start over and stand up against it. And I would like you guys to share your story of how you ended the cycle of abuse, the effect that it had on you as a child, and why you made that choice. Um, the cover for this, and I think it's amazing, is here we go. The Witnesses Breaking the Silence. Um, that is going to be book one. And I encourage anybody that decided to flip the script to, you know, join me in sharing their stories. Um, I'm going to be fixing the link, but the link does work. There's going to be, the banner is showing where you can sign up to take part in any of the books. Now, book two in the series is going to be a traditional survivors series. I'm giving you guys your voices back. For a long time, I know I felt like I was silenced, that nobody had heard me, would believe my story. And here is the art for book two. I'm actually going to hide that banner real quick, guys. Survivors Speaking Out. That is going to be the cover for book two, and I love it. And that is going to be your traditional, survivors stories, and the hopes of uplifting those that are still going through it, showing them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You can get out, you can survive and thrive afterward, and rise like the phoenixes that we are. Now, book three, that one's going to be a little bit different. Book three is the hard one. Book three is going to be for my angels. This is the angel stories told by their family members. Here is the cover for that. The angels speak so that their deaths can mean something. It's the lessons that we've learned from our angels that were taken too soon, told by their family that has been left behind. Because we want their stories told. They don't need to be silenced anymore. And that to me is all three books are so, so important. But to me, this book is going to be the hardest, truthfully, for me to edit, but it's the one of the most important because the angels that have left us, they didn't get their voices heard then. Well, let's make it matter now. And that's the whole series is showing with book one, you can break the cycle. You can make that choice to stay. No, I'm not going to treat my family like that. I'm not going to sit there and keep the cycle going, especially you guys who witnessed it. Please, I want to hear your stories, the survivors that have been through it and still feel like nobody believed you. I do, and I want to share your story. And the angels, they deserve their stories to be heard. Mhm. So, real quick, I appreciate everybody so much that is joining me today. And let me read through these comments real quick. It's just me here, so give me a second. I want to make sure to say hi to everybody um, on both my LinkedIn and on my Facebook, or not Facebook, but my YouTube. Nick, she and I are going to be working real hard for this and the book series on LinkedIn, a LinkedIn Love Affair that we're doing. We are editing and formatting all of these together. I appreciate you being here, sis. I know you're still at work or just getting off. Misha, thank you so much for your support. Ajot, you've got my heart, sister. Kaylin, so glad you're here. Sharon, uh, Charles, my brother, I know you're writing for book two for me. And yes, I welcome all of you guys who have either been through domestic abuse or decided to break the silence because you saw it growing up. Please, please submit a request so that we can talk about it and get together and have you take part. um, you guys, this is so, so important that we're getting our voices out and sharing, our stories so that because your stories do matter. Your voice matters. You have that right. Hi, Philip. Thank you so much for coming. Izzy, my beautiful, beautiful sister. She's the one that made my banner for my page I have it on both my LinkedIn and here. Lawless, so glad you made it. Greg, hi, honey. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming. And please, Miss 72. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. uh, she says that I look pretty. Thank you. Please, guys, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. If you have any questions about the book series that I'm doing, I really would love to hear your thoughts if you want to take part. This is just my way of giving back to the community and, putting my money where my mouth is. I'm constantly saying I'm a voice for the silenced. Well, I don't want you guys to be silenced. I want you to get your voice back. So this is me putting my money where my mouth is and giving you that chance to break the silence yourselves and share your stories in the written word. Now, what I am going to be doing for my writers is I'm going to be creating a private support group that nobody will be able to get to without an invite for you all. I'm also not doing the traditional thing when it comes to writing an anthology. None of my writers are expected to pay to take part. Yes, I am welcoming donations because the proceeds from this trilogy will be about 90% of it will be going to break the silence against domestic violence and their Christmas fund so that the kids that are in that zone or the survivors and also the angel families, those kids can have Christmas. So I'm accepting donations, but writers, you guys are not expected to pay anything. Um, and the guidelines are going to be, um, I know these stories are a little harder, and that's the great thing about writing in an anthology instead of writing a solo story. You're writing a chapter. That's all. You're not writing 1,000 words. Well, it's between 1,500 and 3,000 words is the general guidelines for the chapter. And it's basically, I like to jokingly say that it's Cliff Notes version of your story. If you are curious what I mean by that, you can go into my playlist on my YouTube channel that is called Rise of Crystal Phoenix Chapters. And that those are me reading my chapters for different anthologies. The one from Rattled Awake Volume 3 is kind of what I'm looking for when it comes to book 2 for the most part. Explaining your going into somewhat details of your story. In fact, it's what I'm looking for all of them in a sense. You don't want to traumatize your readers, but you want to have your voice. And that is what I'm trying to give to you guys. So, hi, Cirrus, thank you. And Chris, love you. My disability ambassador, you guys are all amazing. And yes, Charles, we've talked about this, my love. Charles Phillips is one of my dear, dear friends from LinkedIn, and he is one of the biggest and most amazing supportive people, and what he went through with his ex is horrible. And I truly encourage him to write. And Charles, I will be there with you every step of the way. That is also one of the things when it comes to writing the anthology. You will have support the whole time. And it's not going to be writing in a weekend. These stories, I understand, take time. You're digging into your heart. You're going into wounds that hurt at times. Book 1 to a point, but definitely book 2 and book 3. I will be there with you guys every step of the way. You will have emotional support, which is also why I'm creating the private support group. Also, if you are writing I am more than happy to have people write under pseudonyms or anonymous. That is perfectly fine if you don't want to share your name because you don't feel safe. And yes, I love that. Thank you, Misha. That is it is. It is very, very much like journaling, only taking it a step further. It truly is. When I started writing in the anthologies and I started writing Rise of Crystal Phoenix, it was more healing than just journaling. It truly was. It How you say that, Misha, it is. And it also helps because you're sharing your story with people that do understand. And then by publishing, whether you write under a pseudonym or use your own name, etc., you're also giving hope to others. You're showing them that they're not alone, that there are people who understand and want to be there for you because they've been through it. They know what it's like. And you build that support system. And that's why I want to do this for everybody. So I'm putting the call out to those who have a story and have either been too scared to write it and share it, or are finally ready, please come join me in sharing your story to give hope to others, especially when it comes to book 3. The angel stories, to me, every story is important. But when it comes to the angel book, giving the voice back to the ones we've lost is so unbelievably important. Making their deaths mean something. The lessons that we've learned by losing them, giving them their voice and helping others so that maybe we can save more lives is so important. And that is why I'm doing this. I want exactly. Misha, you know you're my heart. We're taking back our power when we do this. And every person that reads our books will have hope. And maybe, just maybe, by shining this light, we will stop people from being abusers. You know, book 1 is so important. And honestly, I'm hoping to get more men for book 1 because it's so much harder for the guys to flip the script and acknowledge that what dad did to mom was wrong and not keep the cycle going. That if we can show others that yes, people are breaking the cycle, maybe, just maybe, we can continue to break the cycle even in people that are angry and abusive because they went through it as kids. It's never too late to break the cycle of abuse and get the mental health that they need. Thank you, Ms. 702. That's just it. We all need that place. And I found my place within writing, within speaking, with doing these lives in LinkedIn and my community that I have built here on YouTube that is still constantly growing. I want to give that to others. I want everybody to have that chance to be heard. And because that's one of the worst feelings when you are in an abusive relationship. It's that fear of not being believed, not being heard, you know, being scared that no one will believe you, being scared of what do I do next? So I'm hoping that by us sharing our stories, we can give that hope for people that are in that zone and realize there is hope. There are support. People will believe you. Just speak up. And if we keep speaking up, we keep acting against it, keep spreading awareness, keep spreading the kindness and the love and the hope, then maybe, just maybe, we can end the cycle of domestic abuse almost entirely. I'm not naive enough to think that domestic abuse will be gone forever. I can hope, but I'm not that naive, guys. But if we get enough awareness out there, then maybe the victim shaming will stop and more people will step up for, so we don't have to have an angel series anymore. So, I do also want to, since I've got your active attention and everything, I do want to say thank you all again for the wonderful birthday wishes. Matt and I did have a wonderful weekend away, and it was much needed, and everybody was so supportive and so loving. So thank you again. I am gonna show a couple little silly things that we did when we went away. Um, just being a little silly because that was kind of heavy, and you know me, I like to break the you know, break the heart, the heavy a little. So we had fun. Never got to do those, so had to had to show those off a little bit, and just had a wonderful weekend. So I just want to thank you all for the wonderful birthday wishes. And today is actually my eldest, both of my eldest daughters' birthday. They were born Friday the 13th, 5 years apart. And I wanted to do the book launch in honor of Katie, because her father was my abuser, and she went through a lot with him and and she is actually um, going to be writing in book one for us as well. And I'm so proud of her that she's willing to share what she went through with me and her dad and everything. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for being here on my YouTube channel. There is all of my connection, the ways to connect with me. Guys on LinkedIn, y'all already know how to get a hold of me, my loves. And the banner link that I have there, I will be fixing the page one stuff. I just kind of put it together. Has the link for the form if you would like to apply to be in any of the books. Also, I will be setting up a specific account for donations. Like I said, I'm not charging any of my writers, but donations are welcome to help with the costs of publishing, and then also to help with the Christmas for Break the Silence of Domestic Violence, which is an organization that I do volunteer with on the support line. And I want these kids to have a good Christmas. So that is where 90% of the proceeds will be going. So, and one more time, I'm going to show the covers again, because I'm just so proud of my friend Whitney. She did an amazing job on designing these for me. These are her way of speaking out. So for book one, this is the cover. And this is going to be the book two. And of course, I have to have the phoenixes. You know me, Rise of Crystal Phoenix. Come on now. And then our angels. Now, the reason that I have the covers the way that I do is because I'm not going to be putting the authors' names on the back like a normal anthology, because I know some of my writers are going to be anonymous. And I wanted the covers to be somewhat dark on the front, but then the back show the hope, because the stories that we're writing are hard and, yes, are a little dark in the beginning. But by the end of each chapter, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that is what my hope is. And I'm very, very excited about this project. Please get a hold of me if you would like to share your story. Like I said, I will be putting together a support group for all of my writers that you have to have an invite only. The server actually will be handled by Matt and I personally. And there will be a couple of different writing workshops, because I know that a lot of my writers, you guys are not, professional writers. Sharon and I have written in a few books. Nick, my beautiful friend Nick, she has also, but For most of you guys, you've never written. So, of course, I will be having a few writing workshops, and you will be able to access me at any time unless I'm at work because yay, I did start a new part-time job. I'm excited. I am having a blast there. Um, but you will have support through this. I know the first time when I wrote my chapter for Rattled Awake Volume 3, which truly was my story of getting out. Um, it was it was emotionally draining, but it was also amazing and freeing. Um, give me a yes or no if you guys would like me to read my chapter from Rattled Awake Volume 3 real quick. It's not very long. It's only about 1,500 words, but let me see in the comments if you guys would like me to read that chapter to you real quick so that you understand and know what I'm talking about. So, all right, I got one. If I can get two more yeses, I will read. So, who am I kidding? I will read it anyway. All right, guys. So, Phoenix Awakening. You're tired, tired of the pain, tired of the doubts, tired of wondering, why am I not enough, right? I know because I've been there. I can tell you this. You are enough, and it's not your fault. You did nothing to deserve to be treated like this. My name is Crystal Bay, and this is my Rattled Awake moment. 4 years ago, my 6-year-old baby girl looked at me and said, Mommy, it's okay if Daddy hurts you as long as he comes home. My heart stopped. All I could think was, oh no, this is not what my babies are going to grow up thinking is okay. They are not going to think this is normal. That a person who is supposed to love, support, and protect them is also allowed to hurt them both mentally and physically. In that moment, I made the decision that I should have made the first time he put his hands on me. I ended it for good. I chose to live and to rise from the ashes that had become my life, like a phoenix reborn. It has been a long, hard journey back from the ashes, but let me tell you, my friend, it was worth it. Do you remember the old adage from the schoolyard that when a boy pulls your hair, he likes you? How wrong is that? It teaches us that it's okay to be abused because it shows that they love you, when that is the furthest from the truth. When you love someone, I mean truly love them, you want to protect them from all harm. Now, I'm not saying not to discuss things when they hurt you unintentionally. Every relationship has ups and downs, and that's normal. I used to tell my ex, fighting is not foreplay all the time. He would pick a fight with me, be it verbal or physical or both, and then expect me to be ready to jump into bed after he felt like he had made his point. There were even times he would laugh about it to his friends, but they even were like, dude, not cool. The bad thing was, if I didn't do as he wanted, he would destroy our home. I broke a few things myself to see if it helped my anger and frustration and found it didn't work for me. All it did was leave me even more to clean up. When I decided to put myself and my girls first, it felt as if a huge weight had been lifted from my shoulders, that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, I, at times, felt like a failure as a wife and a mother because I wasn't enough to keep him happy, so he cheated, berated, and abused me. But that I wasn't strong enough to change him was the farthest from the truth. It takes a lot of courage to leave and save yourself and children from an abusive, controlling environment like the one I left. You feel like you're alone and no one will understand what you went through. Even more, you feel like you're being judged for having stayed as long as you did. You know what? Some may judge you, and it's not right. But there are those out there like me who understand your plight and want to help you have a voice to become whole again. It took me a long time to come to this realization. In fact, it was in a support group that I was given the opportunity to finally have a voice. I was invited to be a part of a documentary about thriving after abusive relationships called Expose 88 Stories of Thriving After Narcissistic Abuse, which, real quick, coming out of the story for a second, um, on August 22nd, we actually are premiering Expose. I will be co-hosting the premiere. I will drop that link later. Sorry, but I had to do that little plug because this is premiere take 2. By taking part in that, I finally found a voice. I no longer felt like I was being silenced. The song This Is Me from the movie Greatest Showman empowered me to be happy with who I am. The first time I watched that movie, I truly felt like it was speaking to my heart, that the writers understood what it felt like to be isolated and misunderstood. The lyrics that really stood out in my mind were, I'm broken and bruised, but this is me, and I deserve to be loved and am glorious for being me. Think about the message we're sending our children by staying in that kind of environment. Our boys think it's okay to bully the ladies in their lives, including mom, because it is what they see dad doing. Your little girl grows up to think that if they don't do exactly what their significant other says, they deserve to be punished, even when it's something they really don't want to do. That is not the message I want my kids to grow up thinking is okay. It truly took my little angel saying to me, it's okay for daddy to hurt you, that I realized just how wrong I was in trying to fix him. It's not my job, nor my baby's job to fix him. He has to want to do it himself. When that moment comes, enough is enough. There are so many doubts and questions. Where do I go? How can I break up my family? What if no one believes me? You feel so isolated and alone. The ones that you do reach out to, the people you pushed away because you had to in order to keep the peace, it's amazing how much support you truly can find when you do. When you finally put yourself first and take the first step in making yourself and children safe. Know that you are not alone in those feelings, and it's perfectly normal to be scared. I was terrified of stepping out of my comfort zone, even as horrific as it was. The upside was being able to breathe freely again, not worried about upsetting him by saying no, not tonight, or making sure to hide the girls' snacks so that they have them instead of him. Being free to be me again was the best feeling in the world, but I had to rediscover who I was first. In doing that, I truly became free. I could laugh again and play again with the knowledge that now I'm free to make mistakes and learn from them in a healthy, normal way. Dr. Constance Leland told me my story is important, that it needs to be shared. I agreed, kicking and screaming along the way, I might add. You know what, though? She's right. It's true. In that, I took back my voice. Together with her expose and now this chapter, I found my voice and want to help give you back yours. So I ask you this question, friend. Are you ready to rise from the ashes and thrive again? I hope so. And if you are, know that there is a beautiful world waiting for you to take your place in the sun and let your healing song ring out. It's funny, as I read that chapter and I'm talking about this anthology, it almost feels like I wrote that chapter for this. And I didn't. I actually had thought that that chapter was a prequel for Rise of Crystal Phoenix. But reading through that now, knowing what I'm wanting to do and help you guys do, I truly feel like that chapter was the call to you all, to share your stories and open up and begin healing as I've been able to do. Um, you all have a story to tell, whether it's about abuse or anything. We all have stories. And I have to show this. Um, I spoke about Expose. Anastasia is actually the creator of Expose, who and my beautiful sister, who I believe is still in Poland right now, visiting her family. But the beautiful angel that gave me my voice back first. I can't wait till the 22nd and when we launch Expose, because she put so much work into it for all of us that took part, and it is going to be amazing. So I do hope that you all can join us on the 22nd. It's going to be an amazing premiere. Mhm. She is one of my closest friends and sisters, and you don't need, I know, Cherry, you do, you cry as your emotions, and I love you. My sister from another mister, she is my cherry blossom. Um, and I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you guys. And hi, Sean, thank you for coming. Um, I would like to point out that when it comes to abuse, I am not just talking about physical. When it Domestic abuse is classified in 4 ways: emotional, physical, sexual, and financial. And I want to share all of your stories, whether you went through one of those forms of abuse, all of them, like unfortunately me. I want to share your stories. I want you guys to have a voice. So please get in contact with me about sharing your story. Um, and, you know, even if you were an abuser, but you've made the choice to break the cycle, I want to share your story too, because it matters, because it shows that people can change. You guys are worth it and your stories matter. So let's share them and spread the hope and love so that others can see that they can get out and they can be safe. And let's save lives and spread hope together. And thank you, my dear. I don't want to make you cry. I want to, but I understand. Thank you guys so much for being here and being so, so supportive. Please reach out. There is the link for the questionnaire to write your story, um, and or just send me a message and we will set up a time to chat and see where your story will fit and things like that. Um, so unless if nobody else has any questions or comments, I truly, truly, of course, my cherry blossom. Um, Sexual violence is domestic violence. Um, Financial abuse is domestic abuse. And you know what? Thank you, Cherry, for bringing that up. Really quick, I'm going to go into the different forms of abuse and explain what they each mean. So, physical abuse, we already know. We know what that means. You know, being shoved, pushed, slapped, you know, punched, choked. That's physical abuse. We all know what that feels like. We all know what, well, hopefully you don't all know what it feels like, but we know what it looks like. Emotional and mental abuse, to me, is tied with the worst as sexual. Um, when it comes to emotional and mental abuse, it is gaslighting, um, bringing you down, um, nitpicking, tearing you down emotionally. You're so stupid. You're a dumb slut. Excuse my language. Things like that, making you feel like you're nuts. And that is emotional and mental abuse. Um, Sexual abuse is obvious as well. It's not necessarily rape, but it does feel that way. Like I said in my chapter, if I didn't do what he wanted when it came to the bedroom, he would destroy my home until I gave in. Things like that. And coercion does count as abuse. Financial abuse is when they take over the finances and you go to work and they keep all the money. Even if they work, they isolate you financially to where you feel like you cannot get out. That is financial abuse. And all of those are covered. All of those are part of domestic abuse. So just to clarify all of that. And like I said, I know that writing these stories are going to be hard, which is why I'm creating the support group. And the support group will be on a server that is personally manned by both me and Matt. It is going to be invite only. So nobody will be able to accept it, get into it, unless you have the invite link only. So it is very secure. You will be safe to be able to speak. It is a safe zone, a no judgment zone. It is a support for all of my writers to be able to speak, be there for each other, and, vent, etc. So, like I said, I'm going to be there every step of the way for you guys. So please reach out. I hope to hear from you guys. Yes, sexual violence is criminal. All of it is criminal, sweetheart. Cooper, I appreciate that. But all violence, all abuse is criminal in my mind. But I do agree, sexual violence is criminal. But a lot of times, those of us that are being abused in that way don't even fully realize that it is abuse until we get out. So, with that, I don't normally end on a heavy, and I'm sorry for that. But thank you guys for this. I'm really excited to give you guys a chance to share your stories, and I hope to hear from you soon with big love and appreciation for everyone. Thank you guys for being here and hearing me out. Love you all. Thank you. And please reach out, live your life with kindness and respect so that maybe one day we won't have to write these stories. So, on that, I love you all. Thank you, Philip. Charles, I love you too. I will, and Misha, I will do my best. Thank you guys. I love you all. You are all amazing and appreciated. And thank you. I truly appreciate. Misha, I can, Charles actually doesn't have a channel. He is a friend of mine from LinkedIn. He just has an account, but thank you. I love you guys so much. You are amazing. Thank you all for your amazing, amazing support. Um, and thanks. Hi, Jenny. Thank you. And Sharon. Thank everybody for your support. You guys are amazing. And I hope so. I know you appreciate me, Misha, and I appreciate every single one of you that are here. So, on that note, I am going to give you all my love, and I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Um, Big hearts, big love. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.